So welcome everybody. This is our All Lives Matter call with Dr. Alex Loyd and Dr. David Peck and myself assisting them. It's so exciting every week. We address a different topic every week, and I'll let the guys tell you what that is. Let's go ahead and share this disclaimer first. This presentation is for education and informational purposes only, and since we're going to be talking about issues of health and well-being, we want to make sure that you understand this information is not intended to heal or cure anything. Everything in the presentation are the opinions of Dr. Alex Loyd, Dr. David Peck, myself, and possibly you if you choose to share. You should always check with a licensed healthcare provider about any specific health concerns you may have. All right, guys, take it away.
All right.
Just open the sunroof. Okay.
If you're new to us, welcome. My throat is struggling a little bit. I accidentally gulped about 4 ounces of concentrated apple cider vinegar, and my throat was swollen closed. I couldn't even talk, and it's a lot better, but I may not talk as much as normal today, which is probably a good thing. I'm Alex Loyd. The guy in the hat in the middle is Dr. David Peck. We are trying to help 1 million to 1 billion people in 12 months or less increase their emotional well-being by 100% or more. David is a double board certified surgeon from Columbia Hospital in New York, professor at Columbia for more than 20 years. And I'm so honored that he has joined me on this journey. He came up with a great topic for today, and I've got some stuff to share, but Dave, you go first, and then I'll go.
Okay, thank you so much, Alex. I mean, I can't say enough about Alex. I've already said it all, but it's my honor to be working with you. And I think regardless of the numbers, we're having, and we're not going to be able to count the million, but they're out there and it's having an impact. And the dialogue in the country and the world is changing. Anyway, so the topic today is chaos. And the reason, that it's sort of important to me, not only because of what's happening in the world, but the relationship between a chaotic environment as you're growing up, or chaotic programming, or the programming that you had. We've talked about programming, a lot on in this series, but the programming that occurs when you live in a chaotic environment. And the chaos could be poverty that has all kinds of problems, war, especially, different types of abuse, a parent that has substance abuse, etc. But the chaos and how that is related to the category of peace and the lack thereof, and therefore the anxiety and the worry that could be related to it. So, that's what I really want to hear as much as possible from Alex, especially from you and people that have all this experience, is that, the connection between that chaotic environment and the development of anxiety, worry, and panic. And ultimately, now this is another stretch, and I've mentioned this before, but this is a real, sort of a medical interest for me ongoing, is that because our understanding of hypertension, essential hypertension, has been limited for years and years. For I can't even, going back to medical school, we're taught that 95% of hypertension is a major morbidity in America. It's a silent killer, actually, because it damages, you don't even realize your blood pressure is high and it's damaging your organs, is unknown, and we call it essential. So anyway, I know I'm rambling and all, but and most of the time in medical school, we're spending, I don't need to be too critical of medical school, but we spend on the 5% hypertension causes, like, renal artery stenosis and hyperaldosteronemia, things like this, very obscure reasons. But 95%, we have no idea. We don't know. It's called essential. Anxiety, chaotic environments. You have different populations that could be studied, from poverty or from war areas. Anyway, so this is a postulate, ongoing. I'm sure other people are thinking the same thing, but so especially in our current environment where there are so many triggers, chaotic triggers that could be triggering people into anxiety and stress. We have enough anxiety and stress just with the economic pressures and all the different things that are going on. But to be then triggered in that environment, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage, in terms of your ability to defend yourself from an immunological defense system, but that stress bombardment, we've talked about this many times with cortisol, hypercortisol levels and depression of immune function and et cetera. So the key here is you heal. You have to go after those chaotic stress triggers. Like I remember when I was growing up, that this and that, in order to be able to manage the present situation in as I don't know how to say appropriate or just a calm as possible way, and not be, hurt yourself essentially by those added stressors from way back when. So, this is chaos, and, I'll throw it to you, Alex, for your comments.
Yeah, what a fascinating area, especially the 95% unknown. That's just huge. I had a client one time that this week reminded me of, and this gentleman, his mother had the same basic personality profile of Adolf Hitler, which is extremely unusual, very unusual personality pattern. It's in the psychology textbooks under personality, but you almost never see it. And this client of mine, his mother had that pattern. And when Dave, he was probably more in chaos than any client I've ever had. He lived in chaos. He was in chaos all the time. Very high anxiety, on a lot of meds. Nothing in his life is really wrong, but he's on edge constantly. Well, when he was a little kid, one of his memories, one of his chores was to wash dishes. And one of the memories he relayed to me was that one day he would do his chore, washing the dishes, and his mom would come along later and say, "Good job." Pat him on the shoulder, maybe even a hug, smile, "Good job." Another day, does exactly the same chore, washes the dishes the same way. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell looking at the two that there's any difference. Only this day, his mother slaps him and says, "Terrible job cleaning the dishes, go to your room." And that's when it started. That's when the chaos for him started. Well, the repercussions of that, especially when you're in those first few years of life, when everything is being programmed, the repercussions of that is there is no stable ground to stand on. Because I might do a thing and it be wrong. I might do a thing and it be right. I don't know. Okay. Well, that can have that can be worse than physical abuse. The reason physical abuse, even the abused, typically after some period of time, realizes and will say, yes, that was the abuser's fault. There's no good excuse for that, period. But something like this, the abused tends to blame themselves. If I had done the dishes better, it's my fault. Okay. Monstrous difference. Okay. So programming early in life that is something like, I can't find stable ground, or sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. I'm not sure what to do because I'm literally not sure what is right and what is wrong given my circumstances. Okay. Dr. David Peck, MD, genius, wrote Hope's all-time favorite book, The Road Less Traveled. He was a psychiatrist.
Not me. This you said me, but somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you're David Peck.
I wish I had read that book. I love that book.
His name is Scott Peck, actually different spelling, but pronounced the same, Scott Peck. But anyway, one of his bedrock theories is that all of us in our lives at multiple times come to chaos. Chaos is painful. Chaos is confusing. You're not sure where to put the next foot. You're not sure what's going to happen. Okay. And Dr. Peck said that about 9 out of 10 people, when they hit chaos, they run back to safety, even if safety was their bad situation. That's what they're trying to get away from in the first place. They still go back to it when they hit chaos. And he said, what a tragedy that is, because the only way to move up to the next higher place in your life is to go through chaos. There's not a way around it. You have to go through it. And what that means is when the pain and suffering hits, staying the course and saying, okay, let me learn why I'm feeling this and learn from it. And then, yeah, experience the pain, not run from it, but then go on through it to the next thing. That's the solution. And I believe the processes, the healing processes we're giving you can do the heavy lifting on that, as far as making it where you can go through instead of being so afraid that you turn around and go back. So that's
Alex, what does going back look like?
Well, let's say I'm trying to start a new business,
yeah,
and make an extra couple of $1,000 a month. And I get into it and it's more expensive and I can't find good help and I'm not getting many customers. And well, my first inclination very well may be to quit, to do something else. This is not going to work, too much trouble, rather than seeing it through and see what's on the other side. Once all the craziness of starting a business kind of dies down. Well, that's what the successful person does. And it may be that that's not their success, that they get through that one and it doesn't take them up anywhere really high, but one of them will. If they keep running backwards, they'll never find out.
I think you're also saying embracing challenges, those difficult periods, rather than just trying to avoid them, or like see, okay, this is the path forward and it involves this challenge or pain. Okay, I get that.
There's
that's nice.
There's a passage in the Bible where this kind of obscure guy named Paul, some people call him the Apostle Paul. That's a joke. Major character, but
for us heathens, we have trouble understanding. I'm a believer in God.
Yeah, right. But and now I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
I'm fine with Jesus too. I'm fine with Jesus.
I'll remember it in a second.
I know I messed you up.
But anyway, how about we go ahead with the process, and I'll share that.
Okay.
Comes to mind.
I'm sorry about that, Alex, because no, it's part of it's a style thing, I think, because I'm used to cutting people off all the time with like questions, but I know that's not like, you're more like say and then go, and that's why I'm trying to work with. I also, because I know it's impolite for some people when I just keep cutting in and stuff. So
No, it's fine. It's fine.
no.
Why
Okay.
don't you start us off, Dave?
Okay. So now, before I do this, can I just make a follow up to? I had this initiative last week. Okay.
Sure.
So I had this thing. I just wanted to say because I wanted to. I was going after the tough guys. Okay. I had this Dr. Peck's fried chicken initiative that I started last week, and I just wanted to say that those tough guys, we're coming in all different colors, styles, and flavors. And you got to realize, I'm talking about the bullies, the real bullies out here, that they're in many different forms. So but again, we try everything we do to try to convince them to find the right way. And when that doesn't work, you'll look them right in the eye and it's that anyway. So the topic of chaos and the prayer and the healing process. Okay. So we pray, we request that all destructive, negative cellular memories, unhealthy habits and addictions, false, limiting beliefs, relationship issues related to the area of chaos in our environment, our upbringing, our programming, that it be found, opened, and healed through love, light, truth, and God.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, there's 3 positions. It's very simple. First position is both hands in the Adam's apple for systemic chaos and everything related to it. Second position is both hands in the jaws. Both hands, jaws. Third position, both hands, temples. Both hands, temples. Back to position 1 is both hands in the Adam's apple now. Cycle 2, just 3 positions. Both hands in the Adam's apple. Second position, both hands, jaws. And third position, both hands, temples. Okay, that's it. 2
All right.
cycles.
Acupuncture points. Let's do side of the hand, chin, collarbones, temples, middle of the chest, thumb under the nose, little finger under the eyes, sore spot, index finger under the arms, chin under the nipples, 9G. Eyes open, closed, open, eyes down to the left, down to the right, circle, circle back. 1, 2, 3,
1,
4,
2, 3,
5.
4, 5.
All right, let's activate governing and conception vessel 4 times, please. 4 times. If it hurts, you're pushing too hard. All right, custom healing centers. Let's start with throat. Please open and
Open and
harmonize.
harmonize.
Forehead.
Open and harmonize.
Thank you, Dave.
Open and harmonize.
Middle of the stomach.
Open and harmonize.
Base or root on the pubic bone.
Open and harmonize.
Crown.
Open and harmonize. Open and harmonize.
Under the belly button.
Open and harmonize.
Middle of the stomach.
Open and harmonize.
Heart.
Open and harmonize.
And then left hand brainstem, right hand forehead. For about a minute here. And I remembered what I was about to say. In the Bible, the Apostle Paul, one of the most amazing things I believe I've ever read that makes no sense at first. Paul is struggling with some sin or mistake he keeps making in his life, or something that's paining him. And he asks God to please take it away. And God says no 3 times. And the reason God gives is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And it's this. He says to Paul, you will learn grace through the weakness of your flesh. All right, both hands over the heart, relax, deep breaths. So to me, Paul is committing a sin regularly, it seems. Well, God is against sin, pretty much, you know, that God would say, okay, I would rather you not sin, okay? It's all through scripture. But in this situation, God is literally telling Paul that it is better for him to sin than to not learn grace. And that is mind-boggling to me, because sin is, of course, we all thought sin is this huge thing, you know, heaven, hell. And I'm not saying it's not, but in this case, it appears God is saying, I would prefer you to sin and learn grace as opposed to not sin and not learn grace. And what is grace? What is grace? It is the power to do what needs to be done. Very simply, it's the power to do what needs to be done. And I don't have it, not enough anyway. So to me, Paul is saying chaos is good because that pain will take you up higher in your life if you learn the lesson from it. And there's always a lesson in the chaos. So, so that's it for me. If you want to add anything, Dave, and then Johanna, we have a question or two.
Oh, wow. I was going to say something, but you just blasted me out of the water with that last one.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we have
that was great.
We have a hand up from Bridget. Let me go ahead and open your line, Bridget. If you want to unmute.
Hi, Bridget.
Hello, Dr. Alex and Dr. David, all the way from Ireland, wet and windy Ireland. I'm just wondering, Dr. Alex, how your teaching of the homeless, of the healing codes is going. And I think that's a wonderful, wonderful idea.
Well, we're working on it. The first group has been meeting here in Nashville for a few months. We have a contact at the Nashville Downtown Rescue Mission, and we're going to be going there and teaching the healing code and hopefully training a facilitator there so they can work with the homeless all the time. And we have several other churches who say they want to get started, and we believe some other homeless situations will get started as well. So we're still in the infancy,
yes,
but it's moving along. Thank you, Bridget.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful, Dr. Alex. And I'm still hoping to teach people here in Ireland about your healing code. I just have to get myself a little bit more organized. But when you ask people to teach them the healing code, are you asking people to teach them just the basic healing code that was written about in the book, or going to specific?
That's what I do because it's so simple. And then,
yes.
then if they learn that and do it for a week or so and are comfortable with it, then I'll teach them, you know, the next step, which maybe is one of the codes for a specific issue, the one that maybe they're struggling with. Dave?
And that's
yes.
the point I wanted to make, Bridget, also, is that equally as important to learning the technique of the code is to help people to try to identify their source memories,
right,
or their source issues.
Yes.
Right.
And that's that actually is the most difficult part, Dr. David. I'm still struggling to find my source issues. I have done the heart finder thing, but I'm still trying to find the source issues, and I'm working on it. But
well,
I mean, that's a lifelong process, right? That's a lifelong practice. Yeah.
And I know what one of them is, because it always is. At least one of them is a relationship. So
right. Yes. Yeah, no, that definitely is true, Dr. Alex. But I've missed your healing code this evening. I was late zooming into your meeting. So if somebody wants to find your healing code for specific issues, how do they do that? Because I need to be able to tell people, if you have a specific issue, where to find the healing code for that.
The YouTubes. There's a whole list of YouTubes.
Yeah,
right.
Or if they don't want to wade through these, and of course we've not made one for every issue, they could get the home study program. But if they're wanting it for free, yeah, then they would go through these replays and find the one most relevant to them.
Yes, and that's on YouTube, Dr. Alex.
It is.
Yes, that's wonderful, because I actually missed the one 2 weeks ago. Well, actually, I normally when you're giving the healing codes, and I like the healing codes, I'm not a big fan just yet of the trilogy, but I'm hoping to get into it. I missed the final steps of the healing code 2 weeks ago, and I'd like to get it because it was it related to something I needed to do, and I will look for that on YouTube. That's what I'll do.
Okay, and I've got I've got to run. I love you all.
Right. Okay.
so
Thank you,
much.
Dr. Alex.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Alex.
Dr.
Thank you
Davis.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bridget. Okay, so we're going, there are some hands up still.
Just keep going. Sure. If they want to get
Okay,
codes, they can get codes too, right, Johanna?
Yeah, let's, well, I'd like to separate the two, but well, let's
Oh,
just,
okay.
I'm gonna open your line. I'm gonna ask you to unmute Kevin. You had your hand up, so.
All right,
Yes,
Kevin.
hello guys.
Hey, what's
Hi.
What's
happening?
going on, everybody?
Good.
Hanging out. Just out working right now. I deliver flowers Monday through Friday and stuff too. So just out working right now. You know, love to always
How's it going
tune
with
in.
the codes? Are you seeing changes? Is it like, are you noticing have the energetic shifts and things like that? Are
Yeah,
you
so
finding more
definitely
issues?
one in particular, actually, it was a really huge example, and it ties into this whole chaos. Is actually Sunday, and you know, having the relationship, you know, issue, quote unquote, you know what I mean, with my girlfriend, and just having this understanding definitely helps to give, you know, patience towards a relationship. And you know, it's not perfect, but I definitely can say this is definitely something that has helped me to have a better understanding, like, you know, the whole chaos, like my girlfriend growing up in an
Yeah.
abusive environment, you know, with her father and mother not really giving her that love and attention, and then me as well growing up, you know, with a loving, nurturing mother, but then my father who abused, you know, my mother and everything like that. So like, you know, me being more reserved and everything like that, you know, in a matter of chaos, something as simple as, like, you know, housework or chores, and seeing it get her riled up and everything really
Yeah.
boiled me up to a point where sometimes in the past, like, we'll argue and bigger back and forth, kind of forget why we argued, things like that. But you know, this week in particular, like, I just literally, you know, to a point where it gets to that, I'm like, I just need to just step out, you know, do the grocery shopping, drive, because that's my piece and everything. And I sat down, I did a code, or I actually happened to, I scanned through it every week and everything like that, the different healing issues. And the last one was actually on self-control, and it really just like hit home for me. Even like, to Dr. Alexander's point, where he was like, you know, more of you know, comparing him and his wife, more of that oh, everyone should do something for me, you know what I mean? And you know,
Victim, like a
his
victim
wife,
mentality.
yeah,
Yeah.
that. And then like his wife being the, you know, the perfectionist and everything, and I
Yeah.
can relate that to my girlfriend as well too, and everything. And not, you know, blaming her or shaming or anything like that, you know, just having that awareness of what's going on,
Yeah.
and being able to sit with that and
Yeah.
heal that.
Let
It
me
really
let me
helps.
ask
Mhm.
let me ask you, Kevin, is your girlfriend also interested in doing coding and self-healing, etc.?
No, so she's more of the, you know, religious background. Me, I'm sort of coming more into, you know, the religion, and I kind of share some of this with her, because she's actually the one who introduced me to his book. She's seen I was like Beyond Willpower, which was like probably like 4 or 5 years ago. We've been
Yeah.
dating. We've been going on 12 years now, and have a daughter together and everything. So I haven't. I was like slipping in there, you know, here and there and stuff, but I don't like force it down there, because that was another rough period, and all this self-development and, you know, different books. I'm like, oh, just think positive, when I didn't really
Yeah.
just have that understanding of letting her have her own reactions to certain things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Well,
haven't really
let me
like
also
put this
let me
down there.
also
Yeah.
let me also say this, Kevin, because you know this came up before. You know, with that think positive thing, this is just sort of a little bit of a pet peeve for me. But the thing
Mhm.
about like just trying to be positive, like if you're being triggered emotionally, like by
Mhm.
something that's creating stress or making you angry or resentful, whatever, it's almost impossible to be positive. That's why
Right.
I'm saying it's like telling someone, "Don't be angry, man," and the guy's like storming. You're telling him, "Don't be angry. Don't stop being angry." You're never going to be in when the person's emotional. So that's why I'm
Right.
saying, just trying to be positive is not good enough. And this is what I'm trying to
Mhm.
convince the people. You got to go after the healing. You got to go to the source, because that's what gives you that calm. Because when you're getting
Right.
triggered, it's your subconscious. You have no control over that. That's your emotions. That's like a child state. So anyway, I just wanted to make that point again.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's definitely been a part of the learning curve, you know what I mean? And wanting to help, share that to anybody, listening as well too. And, I always say this thing, to myself too. It's like, I'm always like waiting for like, I don't know, a sign or something, or some bells from God or heaven or something, like tell you like, yeah, you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing and stuff like that, where it really just comes down to that, self-reflection and things popping up again, and like, okay, I handled this situation better, and overall just cleaning up that emotional side to it. So like, I've been down that, path of trying to tell her that, and I can tell you it's a whole lot better in letting them express themselves, and even for me myself, and finding my way to kind of express it, versus like, listen, like I'm in this mood, I'm in a funk, having that code word, like I'm in a funk right now, it's real hazy and stuff, and like just started doing simple like nice things and stuff will just like kind of like trigger. So just diving deep into that self-control and healing it more. So yeah, it was more so of like sharing this in my journey along, and with you guys and stuff. I don't I still have that custom code I had from a couple weeks ago, so I don't think I need to switch that up, and I've just been using that code for like the different categories, but now in particular the self-control one overall.
Okay, beautiful. That sounds great, man.